Welcome to the Game Caddie tutorials. I'm Scott Moeller. In this video, I want to talk to you about one of the new features in Game Caddie version 7.0, and that is the club availability restrictions. And that can be found in the configuration settings menu that I just clicked on, or you can press Control O, and that menu will pop up. And you can see the game configuration settings here. This is the default view in version 7.0 with the basic game rules already selected here. And we'll come down here to club availability restrictions, and you notice that original is selected. Now, what does this actually mean? Well, the basic game rules means that you're going to be playing the simplest version of APBA Golf using the Game Caddie. So you're not going to have to deal with wind or lie dice rolls and a lot of that other stuff. But we're going to focus mostly in this video on club availability restrictions. And the original setting means that we're going to, if this is selected, we'd be following what is suggested in the rules that come with the original 2014 APBA golf game. Now, what I'm about to say applies also to the master game rules. I just wanted to show you, though, that this also works in the basic game mode as well. So we'll go ahead and apply those settings. And I'm going to come over here to Caddie 1, where I've loaded Sepp Straka into the player 1 position with his ratings. Now in the basic game I wouldn't need all these additional ratings here, but I would need his average W and his average I. And because we have the original option selected for club availability restrictions, I need to select 3 clubs from these 6 possibilities here, ranging from a 3-wood to a 3-iron. If I try to open the all-in-one menu and don't have those clubs selected, I get a little warning here telling me to pick 3 clubs. Okay, so again, just by way of example, I'm going to pick a 4-wood, 2-iron, and 3-iron by typing an X into those boxes. And now when I open the all-in-one menu, we see that he has all the clubs over here that are in gray boxes, the driver and 4-iron through sand wedge. Those are all available, but what's grayed out are the clubs that were not chosen. So the 3-wood, 5-wood, and hybrid are not available for him to use, at least in this situation. And with different clubs selected, you'd have different ones grayed out over here. Okay, so let me put this back here for a second. Now, if we instead, I'm going to close this, come back here to the Conditions tab, and open this back up again. If I selected none over here, again, I get a little pop-up message here. Go ahead and apply that. Come back to Caddie 1 tab again. Doesn't matter what I've got selected. I could have nothing selected amongst these 6 clubs, but when I click the all-in-one menu, all of the clubs now become available. So think of none as there's no club availability restrictions, meaning you can select any WI club regardless of whether it is quote-unquote actually in your bag. And you can, click on any of these clubs and go ahead then and take your shot. So that's pretty simple. Let me call up here just a quick summary of what that's all about. So club availability restrictions. If original is selected, you have to select 3 clubs from the 6 optional clubs ranging from a 3-wood to a 3-iron at the start of the round. And with original selected, what happens is the all-in-one menu will make unavailable any WI club that's not in your bag, meaning those 3 you didn't select. And any clubs that are prohibited by the rules that are in effect, whether those are basic game rules or master game rules, and you'll also still be subject to lie type restrictions. And there are different types of lies and restrictions associated with them. I'm not going to get into those in this video, other than to give you a very simple example, which is if you were in a fairway bunker, for example, you wouldn't be able to use a 3-wood. Why wouldn't you be able to use a 3-wood? Well, there's the APBA shot boards have no sand lie available for a 3-wood. You can only use a 3-wood from the rough or from the fairway. So that's an example. So the 3-wood, you wouldn't be permitted to use it in that situation. Okay, if none is selected, you don't need to choose any clubs at the start of the round. If you do, doesn't matter, it won't make any difference because you're always going to have available to you all of the WI clubs except those prohibited by the same basic game or master game rules or the lie type that I just talked about. All right, so let me reduce that and let's go ahead and close this. And I want to talk to you then about a very special situation. If you don't have Steel City, you may consider yourself done with the video at this point, but it's the only course that I know of so far that comes with a particular club restriction that you'll want to override. There may be other courses. I don't have all the courses, so I'm saying that somewhat speculatively. But with Steel City, what you have in the course notes, you have something here that says play shots from normal rough as having a buried lie with a maximum club of a 3-iron. Now, I take normal rough to mean regular rough. So, again, what this is saying is that if you're playing Steel City and you're playing by these rules, that if you hit the ball into the regular rough, to hit out of that lie, okay, the maximum club that you can use is a 3-iron, and that lie should be treated as a buried lie automatically. Now, what's different about this compared to all the other courses that I've played is that if you have a buried lie in the regular rough, the maximum club restriction is a 7-iron, right? So that's the way the Game Caddie is built. It automatically will restrict you to a 7-iron when it sees that you have a buried lie in the regular rough. So when you're playing Steel City, you probably want a way to override that restriction so that you could use longer clubs, such as a 6-iron, 5-iron, 4-iron, 3-iron, to hit from that location. So let's come back here to the Caddie 1 tab, and it doesn't matter which Caddie tab we use. I just happen to have everything set up on Caddie 1 here. I'm going to come over here to the Scramble Adjustment tool, and I'm going to open that box. And, oh, I've still got the basic game features on. So let's come back here to the Conditions tab. Select Master Game. Game Caddie is smarter than I am. It remembers stuff that I forget about. And I'm going to select Original here. All right, and click Apply. Come over here. And now let's open the Scramble tool. And you would do, if you're going to play Steel City with the original club availability restrictions, which is the way that I've got the Game Caddie set up for this video at this moment, what you might want to do is come over here to where it says, this is the Scramble Adjustment user form. You might want to check this Remove Rough Club Restrictions box. So we'll put a check mark in there. And what that does is it lifts that 7-iron club restriction when you have a buried lie in the regular rough. And then you decide for how long do you want that to be in effect? Well, we could do it for the whole round, or we can do it until we decide to change it. So I'll just leave it at until cleared. Because this tool does a number of different things that I'm not going to talk about in this video, there are also options to have the effect duration be for a particular hole or for a particular shot. But for Steel City and the regular rough buried lie club restriction, we want to select either for this round or until cleared. So we'll go ahead and apply that. All right, now what I need to do is I need to put the ball in the regular rough so you can see what happens. Well, maybe here's what I can do. We'll open this from the tee box because there won't be any restriction there, right? So what we have is a normal situation here. We've got the original club availability restrictions. So we don't have access to the 3-wood, 5-wood, or the hybrid club, right? Now I'm not going to take a shot because I might end up with a good shot, and I don't necessarily want a good shot to demonstrate what happens with a shot in a buried lie. So let's just go ahead and I'm going to close that, and I'm going to use the place ball location tool. Now I don't have Steel City, the actual course boards in front of me, so I don't know where the regular rough is and where it isn't. But I'm just, for the purposes of this example, going to type in 245, left 45, and we'll place the ball there. And you'll notice that now it wants us to record our location. Well, because I want to demonstrate to you what happens when a ball's in a buried lie in the regular rough, we would select the RB option here. So special lines from course boards, rough, buried lie, and this is a buried lie in the regular rough. Notice that it's not just a regular rough, it's not deep rough, it's a buried lie in the regular rough. So we'll go ahead and record that, and that shows up down here so the Game Caddie knows where that ball is. And now when we open the all-in-one menu, you'll notice what happens. So instead of having a 7-iron restriction where everything up here would be grayed out, because we checked that exemption box, if you will, we now have available to us all the clubs that are in our bag. So I can hit, instead of with just a maximum 7-iron, I could hit with a 6-iron, 5-iron, 4-iron, 3-iron. I could even use a 2-iron or a 4-wood if I want to ignore the rule. But if I'm remembering the rule for Steel City, the maximum club is a 3-iron, so that would be, I'd have to monitor myself on that, but I'd only be able to hit with a 3-iron in this situation, assuming I wanted to hit the ball as far as I could. But notice that we still are going to have the buried lie restrictions, or at least 2 out of 3 of them. We won't be able to knock down the ball, we won't be able to work the ball, and then that little checkbox that we checked overrides this third one, the maximum 7-iron on WI shots. Okay, so that's ignored because we clicked that checkbox over here. So you can see how all that works, and then we can just go ahead and take the shot, but I'm not going to do that. What I want to do, though, is I want to come back and summarize what I've just said for you. Okay, so let me open this up for you. Okay, so remember, on the game configuration settings, you can either have original or you can have none selected. The example that I showed you just now was with original selected. And you can also, on the scramble adjustment tool, you can have that little checkbox that says remove rough club restrictions. That can either be checked or unchecked. And this tells you the 4 different things that happen in those different situations. Okay, so when original is checked, okay, you're only going to have available to you the WI clubs that you've put in your bag. So that means there'll always be 3 clubs that won't be available to you because you were limited to only choosing 3. So that's always going to be that situation. When none is selected, you will always have potentially access to all the WI clubs, okay? But in the special situation of Steel City, where we had a buried lie in the regular rough, which is this RB, okay? If we left that box unchecked in the scramble adjustment tool, okay, with the original setting, we would be restricted to a maximum of a 7-iron. And in truth, that's the way the Game Caddie has worked in all previous versions up until version 7.0, which now gives you the option to override that limitation. Okay, and with it unchecked with none selected for club availability restrictions, you are still going to be restricted by rule, okay, to that, and lie type, to that maximum of a 7-iron. Right, so only clubs up to a 7-iron would be available to you with that scramble adjustment box unchecked. If that box is checked, okay, now potentially you have available to you in the original setting the clubs that are in your bag, but when it's checked, as I just demonstrated to you, that RB has no effect, and you need to, on your own, limit yourself to a 3-iron when playing Steel City with a buried lie in the regular rough. If you've chosen as your club availability restriction none, then if that box is checked, you're going to have all your WI clubs available to you, and the RB is going to have no effect. So you'd see every club available, with the exception of the driver, because you would be off the tee at that point, and there is no shot column for a driver in APBA golf when you're not on the tee. Okay, I hope you found those examples helpful. Everything I've just said is also available in the user guide for version 7.0. Until next time, grip it and rip it.